All right, let's see. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi, and I want to shout out Georgia Bueo. Shout out to you. Can you hear me now, Georgia? Kathy Bell. Shout out to you and family. D Mike. This is the first live I have caught of the Jedi. But he's definitely a smart brother. Thank you, D. Appreciate it. Okay, excellent, Georgia. You guys, you can also, not only you got to thumbs up the live stream, but you can also share it out so that other folks know that we are in effect. Shout out to Anjane23. By the way, Anjane, I did this. I tried it. I began to look at it with my last phone, but I am looking at trying to use my phone as my webcam. There's a way to do it. 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 So I'm looking to make that happen. But shout out to Anjane. And like I say, you guys, thumbs up the live stream and then also share it out. Like I say, so folks know that we're in effect over here on the Jedi. Let me fill this out. Now, I'll just start with some preliminaries while we're waiting for people. I wanted to I wanted to share, as I began, I wanted to share with something that provoked me, a thought I had about power, and something that I was listening to provoked me to thought about, and by the way, you guys, I can do much more with my lighting. I'm just black. It can't be helped. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the sun every day, and I am burnt. Shout out to Deborah Jefferson. Shout out to Mother Earth. Peace be unto you as well. Anyway, so I was listening to somebody speaking. I can't remember who it was now, but they were talking about, it wasn't even the subject of what they were talking about, but they mentioned, a time when white folks were basically differentiating amongst themselves, like today as African people, if you tell us you Irish or you Italian, it don't mean nothing. Like, you still a white person. But indeed, we all know there was a time when they were making distinctions, amongst their own. And this little piece that was dropped, like I said, it wasn't the topic of the conversation. It just kind of came in. But they mentioned about how the Irish sort of came together, if you will, and decided that their path to power was to run for public office, run for government. They placed themselves on the various law enforcement and as a way to be able to police themselves, etc., etc. That immediately had a ringing to me, because I thought about how I've been struck by, most of the time I hear anything from the state of New York, from New York City particularly, and even after 9/11, or during and after 9/11, everybody was with the police department and the fire department and down on New York Avenue, and we got to get over on Echo, and these streets they were naming, and just all of that. And anytime you see like a live report from New York City, it's always those people, from fire department to police. It's always them, and indeed they are Irish, you know, and I began to just immediately think like, I have contemplated and I continue to contemplate in my life constantly about how we as a people rise. How do we begin our rise like the phoenix from the ashes? How do we rise? And sadly, before I go on, it always comes back to unity, which is the Achilles heel of our people. It is the thing that we lack. Because when we're united, dude, it's like what's that cartoon? Was it Voltron or something where they all unite and ooh, we're powerful? I was into G-Force. Battle of the Planets. Battle of the Planets. Dun 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 dun. G-Force rising. Dun dun dun. Anyway, I'm channeling, but strength in numbers. UNITY. This is our key, but I, of course, immediately was confronted by the reality, once again, that it's something that I've said to you forever, and I will continue to say, we exist in every facet of their society. We're there. We represent everything. We've even been president. How is it that a people who exist in local, state, and federal governments in every single state across this bitch, and we're in the education system, we're in the military, we're in policing, we're in every facet of the society, and it has no value. We run and own the sports mecca. Name any sport, doesn't matter. We own that, and it's a sad commentary on the fact that we're so infiltrated, and so we impregnate the society in great numbers across the entire spectrum of their expression of society, but it has no value. One of our many paths to power, as it relates to anything outside of sovereignty, because we're not sovereign right now, so I will speak first in the context of non-sovereignty. So in the context of non-sovereignty, where we are everything that I've articulated up till now, I've always said, and you know this to be the truth, that our people have an individualistic way of operating. I've got mine, so that's it. I can kick the ladder out from behind me, and no one else needs to climb up. And oh, by the way, when I kick that ladder away from the building so no one else can climb up, I will be in X, Y, or Z sector of society, and I will only exist there for my own aggrandizement, my own financial gain and success and pursuit on the planet. That's the model we have now. Shout out to Empress de Akibulan. Shout out to and shout out to R Zizzle. We have a lot of traders in our race. That's absolutely right. And let's protract it a little bit, Rizzle. So not just traders, because those would be the ones who are conscious of their act, and then we protract it into that sector that is not conscious, but just is self-absorbed. Like they're not they're never in consideration of the culture at large, you know. Um, all both acting in Congress against us, but I just thought it would be interesting just to protract. But absolutely right, you know, we have a lot of traitors in our race, which also goes back to character, something I always preach about, because character is so related to everything that you do in life. Your character, you know, what's your character? What do you do? What do you know, what's your reaction to anything? How do you handle anything? You know, character. What is your foundation? What moves you, inspires you, motivates you, causes you to act in any way, good or bad, negative or positive, you know? So sadly, you know, I've mentioned this, you know, we have the Congressional Black Caucus. We'll just use that as one example. You know, and you got all these black lawmakers. We use that very carefully. We have all these black lawmakers up on Capitol Hill, and we have no benefit. You know, my Nigerian brother was telling me the other day, we were talking about, well, we're always talking about everything. And I'm always trying to extract the last bit of nectar from him because I'm obsessed with moving to Africa, etc., etc. And he was telling me that there's and I know this, that there's a huge population of Muslims in Nigeria. And just as a side note, we have something in Islam that we know as ibadah, right? Ibadah is keeping your tongue wet, and indeed your thoughts by extension, wet with the name of the Creator, always referencing Him, so you're ever in a conscious state of the Creator. So when I drop my pencil or I drop a glass and it doesn't break, I go Alhamdulillah, you know, or oh my God, such Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, you know, Jazakallah, Barakallah, you know, anything that you're offering. This is known as ibadah, right? There is, I forget if he said it was in the east or the west, is where the highest concentrations of Muslims are in Nigeria. And the state that they're in is known as ibadah. I thought that'd be worth sharing. But in their government in Nigeria, no matter what the makeup, it's a standard quota and way of operating that they make sure that they include Muslims in their, I'll call it parliament for now. I don't know, did he use the word parliament? Did he use legislature? Did he use government? You know what I'm talking about, all right? Empress, thank you so much. Jazakallah khair. Barakallah fikum, you see. Thank you. And you all feel free to if you want to hit that super chat and donate anything, or and that will go to the Africa Fund as well. Also, the link for the GoFundMe is in the description box under the video. You can click on that, it'll take you directly to the GoFundMe. Give at least $1. You know, if you big balling, you can give whatever you can. All right. And I thank you in advance. But again, Empress, Jazakallah khair. And you know, just a special note too, because well, I don't have a lot of people here now as far as my Latinos, but you know, nunca recuerdo agradecer mis suscriptores Latinos. You know, lo siento. You know, I know that you all are there, and I appreciate you. Nosotros estamos familia. Ustedes especial a mí. And gracias por todo. Shout out to all the way up north. Was that you I was making fun of last time? I was saying, I'm all the way up. All the way up. So I'm just going to X out the north. Just, I'm all the way up. Hey fam, it's been a minute. It's LC. What's up, LC? Let me find out you're trying to get new aliases and things. Are you in witness protection? Thank you, Rizzo. Jazakallah khair. Barakallah fikum. Just by the way, Barakallah is just saying bless you, basically. You know, Barakallah fikum. And Jazakallah khair is you're saying thank you, but you're asking Allah to give. I'm saying I want God to give you more than you've given me. Jazakallah khair. I'm all the way up. Dr. Kistek. Sí, y tú es mi hermana, Empress. Now, I don't lose my train of thought. I'm actually want to mess me up. Oh, okay. Can't they do that though? You know, the Christians have that saying, won't he do it? We need one for their ass. Won't they do it? Can't they do it? You know. To the Imperial Dragon, what's up? Let me get back to my train of thought real quick, y'all. So they make it a policy to include the Muslims in the government body. So in Nigeria, we're always represented. So there's a voice. But the most glaring thing is that it's purposely so that the Muslim agendas, their points of view, their needs, their concerns, etc., will absolutely have a voice. They're there for that. So we have to get rid of this. We're all the same, and it just doesn't matter, and it helps everyone. No, we, especially given everything that we continue to endure in this nation, it should be we include Africans in our Congress and in our Senate, so that they will be able to caucus and act on behalf and legislate specifically on the behalf of African people. You see, what a novel idea. You know, it's like having, if you had an all-male government, you want to have a women's number so that they're specifically there to serve the agenda of women, period. Nothing wrong with that. You see, what is unsaid out loud, but is absolutely implied and known, is that by default, the American government, whether it's local, state, or federal, exists to compensate and to carry out and to answer the concerns, needs, and wants of white people. And we can be okay with that. But when we show up in Congress, they know that when we're there on behalf of African people. This is the African contingency. We're not here for anything else. Yeah, and nobody else. You see, it's like when you see the United Nations, United Nations always has, you see all these people on their little devices, and they've got the little ear things, and they're all getting, And so they're from different nations. Each one is there to represent their nation. They don't come to the United Nations body going, yeah, we're here just for everybody, and we're just, it doesn't matter, we're all the same, and so it's just for everybody. No, they're there for their constituency, their people, their country. I always say we have everything in place, dude. If once you change the minds of African people, we're the worst nightmare that could ever exist in this society. Because it's like going into an arena or a room, and all of a sudden, you turn on the lights, you realize you're surrounded. So we're in place, but nobody is there to act on behalf of African people. Nobody. And as I've said, and I will have to say anytime I mention this, sadly, the big part of it is because you don't have any Muslims representing us. All them congressional Black Caucus people, any Black governors you've ever had of states, any Black senators, any Congress people, any legislators, your local city council, all that stuff is nothing but Black Christian people. And by default, we assign that label. We identify them with that because that connotes their character. That immediately tells us about their character. It tells us immediately who they are and that they cannot be counted on. They can't. Their whole history and current existence only testifies to carrying the water of massa. They're never there in the interest of their own people. You think Maxine Waters has ever convened a meeting and said, listen, we are here on behalf of black folk, period. You know, they always act as though they don't exist. You know, when you look at even the water crisis that's happening still in Flint, well, we have enough black people in Congress to have made a difference already. That's the easiest thing. Like, unless you, the only way that doesn't happen is if you're not there. You don't understand. I'm absolutely here on behalf of African people, and that's the only reason why I'm here. Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez, she is such a stingray in their butt because she's not specifically advocating on behalf of Latinos, but what she is doing is she is a progressive. So she only got elected. She only ran for Congress and left her bartending job and got into politics and all of it. She only exists on the earth for this progressive agenda. She wants to see this be. That's exactly what we need for Africans. We only get elected, we only are attracted to these institutions that they've set up specifically to carry out blackness. That's it. What that looks like on a local level. You're a black police officer. You only exist to stop a white cop from shooting one of us and to police us in a way that you know we expect and want to be policed. You're supposed to be there as an advocate. You're supposed to be in those briefings before your shift saying, look, we're not stopping and frisking. We're not. When we pull people over for a taillight, we're not asking them out of their car. We're not starting an entire federal investigation on somebody because they didn't use their turn signal or something. You see? But this is unthinkable to African people who are not Muslim, who have that stain on their character. This is the problem, everybody. The wall that is holding us back is African people. That's it. That's it. We can and will and have and are going to continue to bitch about massa. That will not stop as long as I exist and breathe. I promise you. But we can't look at one engine part and say, well, that's the only one, when there's a full leak going on over on like another hose or something. You see, we have to identify holistically, what is our issue? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And this is what is happening. This is what has happened. This is what is happening. What's happened and happening is that African people who are of that stained, inferior character exist in every area of the society, and they're not there on behalf of their people. I was in the Dollar General a few months ago. I was 14 cents short, you. 14 cents short. I could have came back to the house and got it. Or fished around in my car or something. I mean, 14 cents. The store was empty. It was me and the sister behind the counter. She couldn't help me out. It wasn't about the 14 cents. It was about the principle of the fact that you didn't even show a desire to help me. You know. Because I go, oh, well, I don't even have it. And I had all this stuff, and I didn't want to put anything back. And, I'm like, so it's 14 cents. Like, do you got it? I don't have it. I go, so you don't have it, or you just wouldn't give it to me? And she goes, I mean, I don't have it except on a card. I go, well, a card, that means you can swipe your card. I said, just stop. I said, if you just don't tell me you don't have it. Just tell me you don't have any desire to help me. Just tell me that. Just tell me that. You know, it really flamed me, dude. I was like on fire when I left up out of there because, like I said, it wasn't about the 14 cents. It was about the principle of the fact that we were the only two people standing there. And I feel like she was a manager. Don't hold me to that. Doesn't matter. Fact of the matter is, we're talking about a minuscule amount of money. And there wasn't even any desire. I would have been comforted by, okay, I'm 14 cents short. She said, man, my brother, I promise you if I had it, I would just give it to you, you know. And, you know, it's 14 cents. I would have even let my drawer be short 14 cents. It's 14 cents. You know. So, but again, it's the character, you know. She's not a Muslim, you know. So her first thought is not me, it's her and Massa. You understand? Now, trade her out, and I'm on the other side of the counter, and she's 14 cents short. That's my sister. Period. Is it just the 14 cents, sister? Yeah. All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's no reason why you should have to put something back for 14 cents. You know, I'll find a way to cover it. Don't worry about it. You know. It would have been that easy for me. Done. 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 But it speaks to the bigger picture that I'm articulating, you know, when I speak about us being already infiltrated in every area of the society. Already. We're already it. And yet, there's no benefit for us. None. None. We don't get any return. It means nothing for us. It means nothing. Does anybody have missed? Um, what? All the way up? What happened? Well, I miss you too. Imperial Dragon. Um, Ilhan Omar does no wrong. In fact, there's a video here on the channel. I did a whole piece on her. You know. Oh, man. And that's a beautiful sister. And she's Somali. I love her. Like, I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. And she's a Muslim. And her and Alejandria have made more noise in the 5 minutes they've been in Congress. We know more about them and have heard more about them than we've heard about any of these damn black people, than black Christians that's been up there for decades. Think about that. 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 So Ilhan does no wrong. Yes, and AOC is killing them. And I call her Alejandria because this AOC, I don't like that they turned her name into an acronym. I don't appreciate that. I'm offended for her and personally, quite frankly. AOC. Like she's something else. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. You will never hear me referring to her as AOC. Yeah, it's deliberately disrespectful. Imperial says, you are so right. In my own local area, I have been trying to affect change by starting a black caucus, and the black Christians are some of our biggest problem. They are the problem. The problem. The. There's the enemy, and then there's them. They are equal evils. Equal. Not doing nothing to upset Massa. They treat us, D. Mike says they treat us horrible because they know we are the most highest favorite creation. and they hate that. And I think a lot of people don't even know that. I will allow that, D, and then I will just add to that. I think that on some level, it doesn't really matter to them because they are not, nor can they be, connected to the divine. I've articulated many times. I doubt their creation. Even I doubt it. I doubt it because the very presence of them is in conflict with everything that Allah has taught me and continues to teach us about His creation. He shows us consistency in everything. And I always tell you, creation is not for decoration. It is information. It's not just beautiful. Oh, well, it's just so you have something to look at. There's information. You should be going, what am I supposed to know about this? What's this telling me? What does this say to me? You see? So I don't, they are in conflict with that consistency. Everything has a point of origin. And so whatever you come from, you should echo that. If you lived in London your entire life and you spoke with a British accent, all of a sudden you and your wife gave birth to a child and it didn't have a British accent, you'd be like, what was, maybe it was switched, something. That's a basic example, but I'm saying, like, we see a rose, you go, oh, this came from a rose bush. Somebody walks into your house with a carnation or a daisy or something, and you have those in your yard. You say, you've been in my carnation, you've been in my carnation, you've been in my daisies. You never say, you've been in my rose bush, when that's not what they're holding. You understand? A salmon spawns its eggs, and we get salmon. Well, it's a salmon. Yeah, it's a salmon. All right. Latinos give birth to Latinos. Africans give birth to Africans, etc., etc. We can see our human commonality in every other spectrum of cultures except them. They're having a higher death rate than births. Nobody has those eyes. Their hair. But here's the big one I've always articulated. The sun gives life to everything on the earth except them. I must ask why. I must. If I'm a thinking human being, if I'm even remotely intellectual, just remotely, I have to ask why. 50 new Mercedes roll off the damn line. One of them doesn't have a steering wheel in it. Well, how come that doesn't? Why doesn't that one have a steering wheel? What's going on? Why does that one not have a steering wheel? Did somebody miss it? What happened? Did they run out? What happened? What happened? Why does that Mercedes not have a steering wheel and all the rest of them do? It would ask itself. So therefore, in this scenario, we ask, why is it that the sun gives life to everything on earth except for them? It's significant. Even if I wasn't an African, if I was just a scientist or an environmentalist, that would come up. If I've got this brain, that would come up. How come? Why? 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 You see? So this is a problem as I see it. All right? And, I think that when Christians, by the way, I was supposed to go to church with my Nigerian brother tomorrow, but I spoke to him today, and he's working tomorrow, so he's not going to church. So maybe, inshallah, I'll get a chance to do it next week. But and I'm really excited to go to his church because it is populated by just Africans and continental Africans, and I'm just excited to go, and experience how they express Christianity in their church. I kind of know already just from all the watching and studying that I do about the continent. And I see their churches and how they've all gotten the video and the memo. You see Christian pastors in any country in Africa, and and it's just that same rhythm like the Christian pastor here. That yelling into the mic and the ha and the ha and the endless dapping and the and it all things that make me vomit and send me to the ICU. All right. But we'll just see if maybe there's a different decorum with whoever the pastor is and the people and all the stuff. And then specifically, I'm looking to learn and to notice how this particular pastor or whatever will preach from the Bible, and what their take is and all that stuff. I'm excited, or in the fake way of my wife, I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Okay, could you get more excited, Janet? Because maybe because you showed me you was excited, like, so that I feel as though, you feel me? I mean, I know you say you're excited and everything, but I'm not really getting that reading. I'm just not really getting that reading up in here, just like in this region. I'm not really feeling that. So maybe you could just show me you was excited or something. Just, so I would know and stuff. You say, no. I'm very excited. I was very excited. And she has the underbite. Excited. I was very excited. 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 That's my wife, y'all. Now, y'all can't do this. I'm the only one that can do this. So that's my wife, homie. So I'll crush you. So I crush you, homie. I'll crush you, homie. I'll crush you, kids. I'll crush you. I will crush you, kids. Anyways. But I'm excited to go. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to go to their church and experience it for whatever it's going to be. Marcus, you are the lion. You are the lion. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. So right, oh, that was horrible favorite creation. Yes, and I know all the way up. It was just a damn diamond and a nickel. I mean, come on, like I can't with it. Like not, Yes, as usual. As I think I just got carpo. I will be in Ghana, West Africa, Empress. And it's interesting because my nephew and I were talking this morning, the prince, and Senegal looks pretty good, y'all. But I'm firm on Ghana, but I will definitely visit Senegal when I get to Africa. And my nephew, I misspoke because I said, but you guys, it can't be till 2021 because my nephew, he won't be. But my nephew, my nephew graduates next year, so he graduates June, and I have talked to him, and I was like, do you think you want to come to Africa with me? He's like, yeah. So it looks like July of 2020. I'm out. I'm out this piece, cuz. I'm blowing this piece, cuz. So your answer is Ghana. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Empress. Mi canalita. Mi canala. I'll call you. But I direct to the canalita. Because, it's more endearing. You know what I'm saying. So, canalita es mi sobrenombre por tu ahora. Uh, yes, Canelita, gracias for that, because I would have known about it. So I will be watching that, inshallah, when I get off of here. And Van Jones, thank God he's divorcing the White Apple, because I can't. Right, all the way up. They're not. They're not. You see, and this puts pressure on those that have been there, because it's like you either have to, as my grandmama used to say, you have to shit or get off the pot. And they all need to go. I agree that Rizzle or Zizzle. That's so true. They gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Not now, but right now. Marcus, it's a damn shame this white girl today let me have a free Snickers today because I was short a few pennies. Ain't it a damn shame? And sadly, I feel like had I been that 14 cent short and it had been somebody white, the odds were probably better that I was going to be let go with that than with this African. That burns my ass to say that even out loud. I can't, oh my God. To wash that blasphemy down. Can't believe I said that. Anyway. Uh-oh, it's jumping. Around Africans. Yeah, as stuff and everything as stuff. As stuff. And you know, you can add that. I love us so much, y'all. I do. I love us. But on that, just we just have a language that's unofficial, you know. And like one of the things, like when you add, and you know, people just add and stuff to stuff, and it's supposed to make it seem like you just did or said a whole bunch of stuff, or like it's more than what it really is. Because they had just came back from the store and stuff. Yep, everybody was down there, and stuff. What stuff? I love that. I love that. Jedi, what I meant was the Most High told the devil to bow down to my favorite creation. Oh, I know that. I know that. And he said, why should I bow down to them when they are made from dirt and I am made from light? Well, this was the Iblis, the Shaitan. But to put that just in contemporary terms of us and the enemy, you know, they're coming into an awareness that is hushed. They don't speak about it, at least out loud to us. There's some leakings, there's some rumblings, but it's not like this thing, you know. They're beginning to understand that indeed we are the Israelites of the Torah, the Quran, and the scriptures. You know, I was at my doctor's recently, and you know, I was full regalia, and one of the other doctors that I know came out when I was getting when I was checking out to leave, and he said, which we're friendly to each other, and he says, look at this handsome Arab man. You know, he was giving me a compliment. And I said, and indeed my people are and were the first Arabs. You know, I don't know when we lightened up, but it's us. You know, just as I told you all with the, you know, when I did the video about Deuteronomy 18:18, and I was showing you how our people knew from Torah that the coming of the Prophet Muhammad. This is why they migrated into what is now the Arabian Peninsula, which is just Northeast Africa. Because this is where the prophecy said where he was going to be, and so this is why they were waiting on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were waiting on him. You see, how did you get away from that now, black Christians? How? Your book leads you to this man. Your book. As tacky as it is, even now, its 354 versions leads you to this man. I can't. Carolita. It's divertido, ¿sí? Pero when I do it, I just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I turn all Compton, South Central, I'll be, you know what I'm saying? I'll break you, kids. I kill my own self with that. Uh, uh, I'm out of context, D Mike. Of what? I'm out of context. I don't remember. You said, tell me what you think about what? So put me back in context, D. Uh, and I will say just a little bit more on that, D, with regard to the angels. When Allah said to all the angels that He was going to create man, the angels and the jinn, everybody was to bow to us. Every one of them. And the shaitan, the devil, Satan, is the one that said, I don't need to. I don't need to. So you made him from dirt, you made me from fire, I don't need to. You see? And so this is when Allah expelled him from paradise. Good evening, Jedi. You see what's happening with Iran. Guess this is going to be Trump's war. Well, you know what? It's not going to be. I'll tell you why, Reynaldo. Because Iran is, first of all, it's the Islamic Republic of Iran. And they have a military. Saddam had a military too, but you must remember that they had attacked when Bush, the father, was president. They had attacked Iraq. Then his son comes in there, so that, you know. And the oil component there with Iraq, there was a relationship between America and Iraq that, of course, they betrayed the Iraqis on because they never keep their word. They had over 400 treaties with the Native Americans here and broke every single one of them. So this is not a people we can trust. I mean, you know, I just don't see them, you know, I just don't see it. You call me crazy, you see. I had a queen that told me, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. That's what the queen had told me. That's what she told me. So, but Iran will bust their ass. And this is when you will see what they fictionalized in 2001 about their fake alleged attack of 19 Saudis. That was all fake and staged. They mess with Iran, that will be real. That will be real. Because Muslims are not like Christians. I've said this to you a million times. You don't have to believe it, everybody. You don't have to believe it. It's still going to be true. The fact of the matter is Muslims, we don't live for this life. We don't. This is like this. The next life is forever. And we do not tolerate being aggressed upon in any way. At all. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Remember when Bush was in office and he was somewhere overseas and the dude threw the shoes at him? Because in Muslim culture, and certainly in Arab culture, Middle Eastern culture, the shoe is the dirtiest thing. It's the dirtiest thing. You will never go to a Muslim's home and you wear shoes in the house. It won't happen. We don't wear shoes in the house. We don't wear shoes in the mosque. You understand? Shoes are to take you across the earth. That's it. And so, this is why you don't see us glorifying the Jordan and all this other nonsense that you all do, because it's a shoe. The filthiest thing, like the pig and then the shoe. It may be in that order, topsy-turvy, but the pig and then the shoe. And so, thusly, this was a symbolism for throwing the shoe at Bush. So Muslims aren't going to start anything, but Muslims will fight to the very death in the cause of just and right. You attack Iran, you've given us the green light to aggress you, to defend ourselves. And it won't just be with Iran. They will have to deal with other Muslims all over the world. And remember, there are 1.8 billion of us. Period. 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 We're not playing. So he can sashay into Iran. It's not going to be like, oh, we went to Iran and we did it and we're out. It won't be that. It won't be. It won't be. Understand? The prince is doing well. As I say, we spoke this morning, all the way up. We spoke, and he's doing well. He may sneak in here to the live stream. He does that sometime. Sí, Canelita. Because it's more endearing, you know. Canala is correcto también, pero canita, canalita. Because canita would be like pequeño, pero canalita. Nosotros somos familia, canalita. En mi corazón, tú eres canalita. About the devil being racist in heaven towards us. That's why I asked you what you thought. You know what? It's interesting. I never thought about this until I'm saying it right now. Your question has provoked this. D. You know, there was no racism before these people appeared. Just wasn't. Wasn't. You know. I can say I don't know where they come from. I don't. But as a human being, and as one who holds the DNA of the first people that Allah breathed life into, I look and say, you're not of me. You're not. We have evidence that even the Chinese and the Japanese are us. They're us. Look at their Buddha statue, for God's sake, even. You know, but we have other empirical evidence and undisputed to show that yes, indeed, they are African people. We also know that in samurai, as in the laws of being a samurai, I have a whole documentary here at the house on it. You can never be considered a samurai unless you have African blood. Did you know this? You see. So we can look at anything else and go, oh, they're like us. But this is not with these people. There's nothing there that echoes us. Nothing. Gracias. Dice gracias a mi profesor de español muchos años de pasada, señor Estado. Yes, Maya Angelou, the queen. She's everything. Did you see? Yeah, Empress, you saw it. You saw my little review on when they see us. Yeah, you saying it right there. Okay, appreciate your commentary in series. Okay, lo siento. Yeah, like Corey was everything, dude. That actor that played him, like, I didn't see Moonlight, so I guess his fame is from that, and maybe some other stuff that he did, but that's some of the best acting I've seen in my life. But and not just by him, he was just really punctuated it, but all of them were amazing and fantastic and should be given awards or whatever you want to give out for their performances. But that Corey character, that actor, what was so brilliant about the whole piece, as I said before, is just that I felt all of them. I was there. Ava did a good job of taking, we were there. We were in their emotional and physical and mental space. We were in it with them. You know, that's what made it extraordinary for me. Extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. Extraordinary. Yeah, Corey Wise. You know. Was that the one that had the star over his eye all the way up? That had the star? Was that Kevin? Yeah, because they just were all fantastic, dude. Like, I felt like I knew them, and I just, like I said, it was a roller coaster ride, emotionally and every other way. It was everything. It was everything. It was everything. Like, wow. You know, and not guilty at all of anything other than being African, you know. But again, even, and to bring us back to center a little bit, you know, even in that case, somewhere along the way there was African players along the way someplace, you know. In fact, I feel like in one of their interrogations, one of the investor, what was that? That was something else. No, that was confession tapes. Just there was some black people around someplace, whether it was a clerk or something, you know. And then the jury, you see, I can't, I cannot, I won't. Um, wow. Because what you can always bet on, if you have Muslims anywhere doing anything, we're looking out. We're looking out. It's like we're looking out. Yeah, okay, so that was Kevin that was hit with the helmet. Yeah, that kid, that actor, everything about him. Everything. Especially when they said, so tell me what you did to the lady. What lady? Just even that. Stop cameras, give him an Oscar, and roll it. Yeah, I cried during that. I cried. I was furious. I was throwing things. I was ready to kill people. I was genocidal. I was homicidal. I was suicidal. I was a few things. Yeah, that was powerful too. When she had a little bit of intuition, like, no, I'm not signing this. Like, just sign it. I tell y'all all the time, I pray for not just good things for people. I pray for bad things for people. I have no issue telling you that because Allah sees and knows all things. Allah says to us, not a leaf falls from a tree without his knowledge, and he's aware of every pebble of sand on the beach. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Oh, Allahu Akbar. But, and any of you all that didn't see the video I did called Who is Allah? You need to go and see that. Because I've said that, but I don't want to get too far, but I'll come back to say this, that I pray for deaths of people. I pray for destructions of full groups of people, because, the Creator, when he decrees anything, he says to it only be, and it is. You can ask for anything. Anything. This is the one that made you, that gives you life right now. You can ask him for anything. 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 You see? Doesn't mean you're going to get a poof like that. But you can ask Allah for anything. 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 And contrary to what a lot of Christians preach and think, you can question God. Because you must remember, Allah is aware of what you know and what you don't know. So he knows you're asking because you don't know. You can question. You can question. You can question. I ask God all the time, why would you kill these people off? Why? Why? Allah, why do you allow people that exist deliberately to do evil? Why do you allow them to exist? Why do they exist? Why do you allow this? Why? Why? When will you destroy them? So I do be praying for people's demise. I promise you. That's why I think the Most High kick him out of heaven, because he is racist, which brought pride. Jedi, do you think those people who are racist, do they come from the devil himself? We have to keep it specific. I don't use words like people and those. It's white people are the creators and the administrators and the perpetuators of racism. Period. So, Jedi, do you think white people come from the devil? I don't know where they come from. What I affirmatively think is they don't come from the divine. Because as I said earlier, it's inconsistent with the consistency that Allah has shown us in everything. Consistency. You look at your own human body, you have a right hand and a left hand. You have a right eye and a left eye. Right leg and a left leg. You have 5 toes, 5 toes. 5 fingers, 5 fingers. Etc., etc. You see. The moment you see an anomaly, then we ask why. We say, well, this is not consistent. What's going on? And if they're not from the devil, certainly their actions show that they live to serve that which is devilish. So, pick one, I know, Khalifa, and shout out to you too, Khalifa, of the Most High. Yeah, all of them, I felt like they were my little brothers, like I knew them. I just had so much emotion about this film and the actors themselves. I don't know when the last time I was so immersed and let myself be so absorbed by a piece of cinema. I just was in it, I was there, dude. I was there. I felt the despair, the hopelessness, the desperation. I felt it all. I felt everything. I felt it. Khalifa says that movie has the impact of the original Roots movie. Interesting. No shade to the original Roots. I think it's apples and oranges. Only because Roots is a historical piece. This is historic, yet is contemporary. I would hope that this would impact this generation, be as powerful to them as Roots was to us. That's what I think I want to say. That's what I think I do. Okay, okay, peace out then. All the way. Who do you do all the way up? Did you tell me that's LC? Yeah. Um. Okay. Peace and blessings to you as well. I'm glad you were able to be a part of the stream. Yeah, man. Because he was the frailest of them too, Khalifa. And I just don't. There's no way. I don't care who I was. I would have seen that kid. I go, this. I don't know what y'all brought him in here for. He's just not guilty of nothing. Take him out. Go. Go. Unless I was the devil. Your son is the same age as the prince. Akibalan. Yeah. Not only just incomplete Khalifa, but just like I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. Like I can't. And not just us, of anybody else, because everybody else is at least has something that we go, oh yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see you being related to me. Yeah, okay, you're good. Yeah. No, D Mike, you're not gonna offend nobody. Listen, I speak only the truth. I don't care about feelings and opinions and making someone feel uncomfortable. And I know we're over that. We don't have time for that. You see, we've done and do that too much. You'll never get that out of me. So don't no, you're not in danger of offending nobody. You see what I'm saying? I don't trust white folks. You understand? Don't ever. In fact, you would be a fool if you did. I can't speak for nobody else other than African folks. Our history and our current treatment and relationship with and by these people is toxic. You see, you're out of your damn mind if you trust them. You out of your damn mind, and you need to hand us over your black card so we can deactivate it. It's very important. You see, I would say you have to know your enemy, your environment, and your condition, and you have to be realistic. You understand? You have to. You know, you have to. We're the only people that are being asked to be nice to and speak in kind terms about our daily oppressor. That's psychotic. And to be diplomatic and kind and considerate of. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not for me. Not doing it. I don't need to. Understand? And again, if my people would get into the right frame of mind and into a right frame of thinking, you know, as I said earlier, I digress. When you look at the society, we're in every sector of it. Every sector. Melody! What's up, baby? And you did make it. Good to see you. We're in everything. We're airline pilots, for God's sake. You understand? We had a brother that was killed on the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, and I feel like we had a brother on the Columbia. Astronauts killed on the Space Shuttle Columbia.
According to Wikipedia, on February 1st, 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated upon atmospheric entry, killing all 7 crew members. The disaster was the second fatal accident in the Space Shuttle program after Challenger, which broke apart and killed the 7-member crew 73 seconds after liftoff in 1986.
Oh my God, I can't. Columbia. Yep. We had a brother. Yep. Mira. And his name was, because I know Columbia, or Challenger, it was Ronald McNair. This brother is, I don't know. Anyways, without finding his name right now, I'm just trying to say, once again, we're in all the society, all of it. We're fully in place, and we're not doing nothing. Nothing. And as I spoke recently, I was telling you guys, when we were talking about reparations, and I was saying that, success is preparation meeting opportunity. We are not prepared. We don't have an ask. You see, we're not unified on what it is we want. We haven't really thought about it, and more importantly, we've not come together as one on it. This is another reason why integration was a problem, because when you're amongst the enemy, it's very easy to look over in a bowl and say, that bowl I'm going to do X with. See, so when we were segregated, they knew the blacks are here. That's where they are. You see, that's the people that are on the other side of the tracks. Those are the people being oppressed. Those are the people that we have with the whites only signs. Those are the people. But now you are sitting at Massa's lunch counter and you have none of your own. And you're at Massa's theater and you don't have one of your own. And you're at his grocery store and you don't have one of your own. And you're doing it all. And you boycotted his bus to get on his bus. So you don't have any buses of your own. And we can keep going. My point is that now, generations down the line, here we come, and we want reparations. And where are you then? Because not only are you integrated now, but you're integrated now. You know what I'm saying? You laid up with a Kardashian bitch, and you said you hugged up you Venus Williams, you say, and you Tiger, and you hugged up, and we can keep going, you see. And we're popping out these children now that could be African or could not be, and we're killing our own cause, everybody. We're killing our own cause. Killing our own cause. Jedi, did you hear about the white lady who killed a black man because he wrecked into a car? And guess what? The wreck had nothing to do with her. I did, D. And I want you to know I started preparing a video about it, but I became too furious. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I will just tell you that I hope that the bitch has a very painful and extended death. That is my wish. That is my prayer. That is my prayer. But again, she felt empowered to be able to do that because we allowed George Zimmerman to still walk the earth. We've allowed those who choked out Eric Garner to walk the earth. I can keep going. My point is, she knew nobody was coming for her ass. Nobody. Nobody. And she's seen that when Dylan Roof walks into a church in South Carolina and kills 9 people, that black dumbass Christians come out and say, I forgive you. I can keep going. You see? So again, it's a spectrum of feelings that one has to process when you hear something like that. And for me, it's just like, I know what I would have done had I lived there and witnessed this and seen that and known where her ass was, but I'm just one. I'm just one. And sadly, I would have some fake ass Christian there saying, well, that ain't right though. But that ain't right though. You see, we have 2 armies that we have to deal with simultaneously. Jedi, if you're like me, I have a long life of experience interacting with white folks. Therefore, it's easy to draw the conclusion that those people are irreversible, toxic to the planet. Indeed. No question. And you know, Khalifa, the comment, the footnote that makes me sick about this is that, like you began your statement, you said, if you're like me, I have a long experience, etc., etc. We're not passing that experience on to the other ones. We're not. They don't need to get to that. We need to be telling them before they even experience it, this is what you're dealing with. You see, that's what my parents did for me. My father, my stepmom, my grandmama, and my grandmama. They let me know before I even had any experience or had experienced anything. They said, these people are the devil and this is what you're dealing with. This is who you are and this is what you're dealing with. So that when I'm sitting in my 3rd grade class and Miss Jones, fat ass, is not calling on me at any of the activities at recess, I know it's a problem. In 3rd grade, I know this is a problem. And I go home and I tell my parents, I go, she's not calling on me. You see? And it was, and the answer back wasn't the response to me wasn't, well, you go up there and just do your best and love them anyway, and, you know, the Lord would know. My parents was like, okay, we got you. We understand that. We hear that. I don't know anything after I've shared it with them. On a day unbeknownst to me, didn't know it was coming. Boom, that class door opened, and there was my mother, my stepmother, and my father in full regalia. They looked like they had just crossed the desert on a camel. They looked like Bedouins. My stepmother was in full hijab and flowing garments, and my father was in one of his tailored suits and his kufi and his dark glasses on, and they looked like it's a problem. And they took Miss Jones and her mama, because her mama was the teacher's aide, took out in that hallway. They was out there for a minute. I don't know what they said. They never told me. Miss Jones never ignored me ever again. You understand? So this was ensconced in me. We're waiting for our children to have an experience. And then sadly, when they have an experience, they don't know what's happening. This is why you hear more coming from our people in the society. You know, they'll describe an event and they'll go, you know, I don't know if this was racism happening. I didn't really know. And no, it's exactly what's happening. But they don't have the tools. They've not been forewarned. They're not being told you are on a battlefield. You're not like the other kids. You won't be allowed to be like the other kids. You see, this is the fundamental problem. This is the problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. Was it Empress? What queen did they name that state after? Uh, um, Empress. Bernie Sanders switched on his stance against reparations. Like, to which direction? Because he didn't really have a stance. He was just saying, like, what does that mean? And I got it. But what development is there now? Ganalita. Or Ganala. Ganalita. Rizzle. I did a piece. In fact, even I talked about it in the last live stream. I don't like any of them, as far as except for Bernie Sanders. That's it. If it's not Bernie Sanders, I'm not voting ever again in this nation. As long as I'm here, you know, that's it. In fact, man, we might have to stick around for the 2020 elections. I'm trying to get out of here in July of next year. Damn it. Well, whatever. But that aside, my point is, and as I also said, and I just heard it echoed on something I watched, I said Pete Buttigieg is not going to get no black vote because it don't matter how far into ill repute white folks want to go with them and their damn society. Black folks are not voting for a gay dude, which is it's anti-African, you know. And I said then, you know, we understand that we have gay people in our culture. Some of us have it in our family and all that stuff. It's always been, but it's never been something that we gave any energy to. You know, it's just not who we are. We just don't. You know, that's why you can go to a Christian church and see the sachet sissies all up in the choir and the choir director and everything, and nobody says anything. Because, like, we see it, but we're not going to highlight it, and don't you? You see? So he will never get a black vote. Won't happen. Won't happen. And as we know, in this nation, you can't win president unless you got a black vote. Because we decide who's elected and who's not. We determine that. You see? But they knew it would come to this. This is why you have this electoral college. You see, to override the will of the people. We saw this articulated more glaringly in the 2016 elections. You had whole states that Bernie won. Then that means your delegates should go to the candidate that won the state. The will of the people of your state has been articulated. Why are you going with somebody else? You see? Oh, they're going to desperately cling to power as much as they can. And that will always be made easy as long as we have those amongst ours who assimilate into them when we get into their institutions of power. Instead of being there on behalf of African people and articulating an African agenda and an African demands and things like that, they just go right along with massa. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. But the short answer, Rizzle, is Joe Biden is a death nail. He's Hillary 2.0. He's even worse than her. And as I said, Democrats and Republicans, where they meet in the middle of the road and are best friends, is they don't care who wins as long as it's the corporate candidate. One party would like to be in power over the other one, and so that's fine. But they're really cool as long as the candidate is corporate. Whoever wins needs to be corporate. You see, both of them will be upset tremendously, and their asses will be on fire if Bernie Sanders wins. You see, they're pulling the same thing with him, with Biden, that they pulled with Hillary's sniper fire ass. You see, The delay in announcing, the little coy, is he going to run? Isn't he going to run? They did the same thing with her. He comes out and he's at the top of the polls, miraculously. They even had him in the polls even when he hadn't announced, just like they did with Sniper Fire's ass. I mean, it's the same movie. It's the same movie. And that movie ends the same. We saw those credits roll at the end of that movie, and it was Trump. You see? And that's what's going to happen in this election. I put out a whole video so that I'd be on record saying that's what's going to happen in 2020. And that's what will happen because they're playing the same games with Bernie as they did last time. He is the dude everybody wants, including Republicans. And if he's not the dude, they're going to do exactly what they did in 2016, and Trump is president again. I've already said it. So that I lay the groundwork so I can come back later and do my I told you so video, just like I did in 2016. Just like I did in 2016. Oh, really, Khalifa? That incident was 3 miles from your house. So you should have been en route. So I'm saying to take that up or down. So, Supreme Goddess Nani. I'm not gonna let you live that down, fashionista. Nani, Nani. Oh, Alhamdulillah, Melody. Special shout out to your daughter then. He said he wasn't for reparations when asked in an interview. I wish I could direct you to the exact interview. I'm sure. No, I'll find it. Don't worry about it. I'll find it. Because like I said, I'm following this political cycle very closely, and I'm always finding the latest on what Bernie has said and what the media is doing, and I mean I have to know what's going. So I got it. I'll find it. It's not a problem. What does he mean? Cassandra, what's up, Cass? What's up, baby? What does he mean? What does that mean? Well, as I explained it before, let me finish reading. He knew what it meant for his people and all other non-blacks. I don't understand why we black folks think that voting for these people, they have no black agenda. Because, Cass, here's the dissertation that I did in another piece recently. I understood his what does that mean? Because it's what I articulated earlier in this stream. Again, we are not a one group. And black folks can't wait to be somewhere on camera saying, we're not all the same. We don't all think the same. Black people are not all the same. Yes, we are. And that's what we have to represent. That yes, we are the same. And we're all one person. We think and do everything the same. That's what we should be representing. Me and my Nigerian brother were speaking the other day. And I was saying to him, and he was saying, we were concurring really on this, because it doesn't matter what country they're from in Africa. And the Nigerians love to tease the Ghanaians, and the Ghanaians will tell you, don't go to Nigeria because Nigeria is so-and-so, and Nigeria said, don't go to Ghana because Ghana's that, and then they will tell you, don't go to, it's this thing. And they all claim their individuality as different tribes, etc., etc. But they are African first. That is the thing that unites them. Doesn't matter. They're African. And all that other stuff goes right out the window. We're African. That's it. And so if we could get to that, you see, you take something like interracial dating, for instance. Like I said, there's never a shortage of some black Christian coon to stand up and shoot down everything that you're trying to represent and stand for the culture. So if you have somebody, like I know some black folk right now, y'all. We all know them. I know some people right now. I might name them because I'm just hateful enough to do it. Just ornery enough. Just ornery enough. If you say, well, I think interracial dating is a problem because of X, Y, and Z, 100% guaranteed you can put your money on this, whatever bid you want to put. 100% guaranteed you're going to have some black person stand up and say, Love don't see no color, and you should, you can't say all of them, and you should love everybody, and shut your ass up and sat your ass down in the back on the left, and we will call you if we get inspired to do so. Because this is a problem. We don't ever speak as one. One. But now suddenly everybody wants to be one when it comes to reparations. And so what Bernie essentially was saying was, what does that mean? Because in his mind, he don't see no group. He don't see no group. Where? What? He sees, well, you guys are all over the place. You're not united as a people. You don't stand together. You don't speak one voice. You just like, I mean, what? Am I supposed to just be picking individuals? You see, Native people are on reservations. You understand? Jewish people are in their own communities, running their own banks and businesses, and they got the fake ass Israel. But those are not the Orthodox people. All right, so it gets into an area with the Jews, but I'm just saying, we all know and perceive all these other people I'm naming here right now as a group. If I mention Asians, you think in your mind of them as one group. Same mind. Now, when anybody thinks of us, including us, we don't think of us as one group. We don't see it. Close your eyes. It's just like telling somebody, close your eyes and say the name Jesus. Tell a Christian to do that. They see a white man. Don't care what they want to tell you. They're seeing a white man in their mind's eye. They're seeing it. I'm telling you what they're saying. I'm telling you. They're saying it. So I can't really be mad at Bernie on the statement because it was honest. What does that mean? It wasn't styled right, but I took the meaning, I wish he had said, well, I can be for it, but what will it look like? But if he's going to be perfectly honest, he'd have to say, well, what does that mean? Because black people are not really one group now. So what does that mean? What does that mean? You see. And now you got this ancestry and stuff out there, and you're giving credit to people that are 1% African, although they clearly are not, and all this kind of stuff. We've allowed the gate to be open, and now we want to try and close the gate just for the purpose of reparations, and then go back to being this divided people that can't speak or act with one voice or one action. Come on. In my mind, if I really just wanted to tell it to you, in my mind, if I'm on the reparations committee, if you're a Christian, you don't get no reparations. You can't. I'm saying you don't get none. I'm saying because you showed your ass. If you're Tiger Woods or anybody that's not married to an African, you don't get shit. Or I can come up with a scenario that would be very crafty and creative. I promise you. Oh, thank you, D. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And then you don't gotta be wealthy. Like I say, I'm happy with 4 quarters. I'm just happy with 4 quarters. I am with $100 or $1,000. You understand? So don't feel like you got to get all this money up. If you got $1, if you got $2, you got $3, $5, whatever, you can give that. It's all good. We make no distinction. I'm that brother that still picks up a copper penny and says, Allahu Akbar. I'm Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Because pennies add up. You understand? Okay, it jumps y'all now. Wait a minute. Cassandra, I'm starting to come to the conclusion that unfortunately black folk aren't going to be one. I know. Not yet anyway. I believe if you can congregate with the few that are truly black first, we could progress. And I articulated that, especially back when I was pushing the Black Independence Liberation League cast, because I said then, because I think it now, and this is how I feel. We just got to be over those black folks we're not going to reach. We got to start finding the like-minded individuals that get it and that are about it. That's it. And then just throw them other people away and assign them as other than us. We're not going to get the masses. We're just not. There's too much ignorance that is pervasive. You see, we have to weed them out. You see, and I just feel like anybody that's not with us is against us. Period. No matter what they look like, I call your view on that statement, I don't see no color deep. Thanks, Khalifa. We don't have to be together to get reparations. We don't. We shouldn't have to, Cass, but I'm just trying to say what the exterior looks like. What it looks like. Why? And I was just using that as an example to try to answer the Bernie Sanders response to you. You know, I believe that either, and I don't believe in all this ADOS shit either. If you, this is your calling card. You got melanated skin, you get a check. Period. But already right out the gate, they was like, well, if they come from the Caribbean or they come from Africa, they don't get nothing. And all. You see, there again. Just saying, all I need is this. If I'm the dude up there handing out checks, let's see them. Show your face. Okay, check. Just saying. Right heifer. Other line. Take your shit. All right, let's see. Sister, check. You see what I'm saying? Queen Calafia, the fictional black woman that the state of California was named after. There is a mural of her standing with the California bear at the Disney California Adventure State Park. I have to look her up. Queen Calafia. Images of Queen Calafia. Girl. She gonna need one of y'all sisters to make her over or something. I just feel as though, no, just messing. I can't even see the picture. Queen Calafia, the Black Empress of California. Black Empress de Aquivalon. I see is this why you picked this, Canela? This sobrenombre. ¿Por qué? Queen Calafia, aka Calafia, the Black Empress of California. Okay, girl. She look like she want me. She look like she want me. She want me. She look like she want me. I had a buddy of mine, y'all, back, I think I was still in high school. Nobody wanted this brother. God bless him. He was a nice brother. But aesthetically, I promise you, wouldn't nobody checking for his looks. Nobody. But I got to give him some props because he never let that discourage him, because any female he's ever going to mention or come in contact with or talk or anything, he like, you know what I'm saying, she want me. She want me. She want me. But he seriously, he seriously a heart attack. He's saying, she want me. She want me. He'd be like, yeah, man, I know she wants you, man. I know she wants you. Just to make her feel good. So said, she want me. She want me. Yeah, man, you right, man. She probably wants you. She probably wants you, man. She do. You can see it in her face. She wanted you, man. She wants you. Man, she want me. She want me. So I'm a collage of my life experiences and things that I channel in life, everybody. So that's what I came up with. I just this Queen Calavia, and I'm like, yo, she want me. She like she want me. She want me. She said she want me. I feel like she want me. She want me. You know what I'm saying? Nubia, what's up? Good to see you. D, those pagan white folks are not real. because it states in Isaiah 53 that the Most High Son, when he was here, was not of beauty. The Most High does not have a son, D. That's fiction. It's fiction. In fact, Allah says the highest blasphemy that you can speak from your tongue is to say that Allah has a son, offspring, or equals. He is one. Qul hu Allahu ahad. O Master, what is the greatest commandment? Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. The prophet known as Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, never proclaimed divinity, never said he was the son of God, never said he was God comes a man, never said worship him. These were all assigned to him many hundreds of years after he left the earth. That is what's true. Forget theology and divinity. Just historically, we know this. Call up Yale, call up Harvard. Ask to speak to their departments of theology and divinity. And they will tell you. You see, this divinity of Jesus and him being the son of the divine only comes after the Council of Nicaea and all this other nonsense. You see? By the way, that's the main selling point of Christianity. You'd think they would tell that. But go and watch the video I did also, D. It's on the channel. It's called, the Trinity. The word Trinity does not even exist anywhere in the Bible on earth. No Bible on earth has the word Trinity in it. If I go buy a Mercedes tomorrow, it better say Mercedes somewhere on that bitch, or I'm taking it back. I just am. You understand? I should see a Mercedes emblem. It's a Mercedes. I should see something. The dealership should say it. The car should say it. The manual. It's the main thing. I'm buying a Mercedes. It should say that on it someplace. You would think the word Trinity would be somewhere in the Bible, and yet it is not. One must ponder the question of why. You see. And thusly so. So, not the Son. Not the Son. Not because I say so, but because that's what the truth is. And don't believe me, go and learn it. I always tell my followers, always sweep behind me. I'm not here to proclaim anything because it's just what I want to proclaim. If it's not the truth, I don't need to proclaim it. My feelings and opinions be damned. It's about what is the truth. What is the truth? But always sweep behind me. Always sweep behind me. Shout out to Princess S. I didn't see you. I'm missing people. I did make sure I shout people out. By the way, you guys, make sure that you thumbs up the live stream. You must thumbs up. If you don't thumbs up, I will be at your house. And it will not be for a nice visit. I promise you, it will not be cute. Now, you must thumbs up the live stream. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right? And if you can, share the stream out so that folks know we are here doing our thing. But again, shout out to you, Princess S. I completely agree. We are all Africans and black. The ADUS causes separation. It does. It does. It does. It does. You know, we need to take our grab as a diasporic people, not just individuals here in this asshole, the devil, the incubator of evil. By default, they're promoting it in a way, Cassandra, because they're installing division by saying, well, they don't get it. Just even the title, ADOS, you must be a descendant of slaves. How are they going to determine that? You see? And not only that, that delays the process. It gives them more reason to delay it. That's not as evident as my skin. I'm not indigenous to this land, so if I'm sitting here, that's evidence that I must have, at some point, there was a crime, and I was not on like an Emirates flight. You feel what I'm saying? So that would just be the easiest way. I got melanin skin, I get something. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember I brought you guys on the old channel that got shut down? I brought you the story of the people that came with the gold tip spears, and it was about the Africans who had came here long before Columbus, before he was even born. And in that we learned that there are various plants and spices and herbs and things that are here that they found evidence of that are not indigenous to this continent at all. They only can be found in Africa. This was evidence that our people had been here. You see? So I use that to say that this connotes that I'm not from here and that I should get a check. So I'm saying, this is carry the one, a check. A check. You know. So it lays the groundwork for separation, Cass. I hope you can understand that. Ray Supreme, what's up, brother? Some of everything. Get into it. I chose Empress because our brothers kept calling me Empress, and I just embraced it. Okibalan was the original name of Africa. My roots hail from Okibalan, thus Empress de Okibalan came forth. I love it. Jedi, people don't read or want to acknowledge the truth. This is facts. Yes, Nubia, it's so true. And you know from listening to me, one of the things that bugs my butt is willful ignorance. Willful. Like I hear the truth, I'm not acknowledging it. I don't need to. You see, that goes through me. D Mike, so they lied to us in the Bible. You're asking that? Because that's what it said. Oh, D, I got work then ahead of me, bro. Listen, I have a lot of stuff on the channel that you should go and watch. Because you're revealing things here that let me know. Even that question, so they lied to us in the Bible, comma. Like, that's not even a question. Did you know, for instance, just showing you that you have work to do and why you should go and watch some of the videos I have on the channel and also do your own independent study, I'll ask you some questions right now. And be honest. This isn't about proving anything. Just be honest. It's about you, not me. I'm here. I know these things. It's about bringing you up out of the quicksand. Now, did you know, before I say it right now, that there's 354 different versions of the Bible? Did you know that? Did you know there are over 40,000 denominations of Christianity? Did you know that? Did you know that nothing was written down about the prophet Jesus at the time that he walked and taught? Nothing was written to him until hundreds of years after he left the earth. Did you know that? Did you know that? Do you know about the Council of Nicaea? Do you know that Paul was not an apostle at all? Do you know that when Paul shows up, because he wasn't even the five Gospels, Matthew, Mark, John, and Paul, the four Gospels, none of those people, this is just historical fact. Forget theology and divinity. Just historical. Like, King Tut's tomb was found. That's historical. This is historical. Do you know that none of those people that were writing those four Gospels, none of them lived at the time of Jesus? Did you know this? This is just historical fact. You could be an atheist and know this. All right? Now, none of those people lived at the time of Jesus. In fact, when Paul shows up in Jerusalem, people who knew Jesus were ready to kill him because of the blasphemy he was preaching. You see, it gets into an area. Listen, the Bible is a piece of junk. And white Christian theologians and scholars, they're most eminent people in the world of Christendom. They have all said the Bible is not a divine work. Full stop. It's not divine. What does that mean? It means it's not from the creator of the heavens and the earth, because that's the only one that's divine. That's it. So if it's not divine, it's not from him. Because anything that Allah does is divine. It is divine. You see. So this is just historical stuff. Now, Jedi, does that mean there's no truth in the Bible? No, it doesn't, D. There are some little pieces. Not enough for you to hang your salvation on. But there's enough of it there. Throw out that whole New Testament. Throw that out and burn it in traffic. Throw that out and burn it. All right, because it has no relationship to anything. The Old Testament, which they claim is the same as the Torah, it's not, because there's not 354 versions of the Torah. And if it was like the Torah, they would just be called the Torah. But it's called the Old Testament. You see. So your whole New Testament is out. Throw that out. Now, just the Old Testament. Because remember, when Jesus came, he didn't bring no New Testament. He said, think not that I came to change the law. I didn't come to change a single letter of it. Not a single striking on a letter. Nothing. He was saying, I didn't bring nothing new. I'm here to put y'all Israelite ass back on track. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to do. And to also bring you the good news of the one who will come after me. This is why in John 16, where actually in John 15 even, John 16, Deuteronomy 18:18, the Psalms of Solomon, etc., this prophet Muhammad is being mentioned. Everybody was waiting on this prophet. So in the case of Jesus, when he says to the people, because Jesus was not crucified, we know this. He was being taken up. God took him from the earth to the heaven. All right. He was given the ascension. So he said to the people, the Israelites, there are many things that I have to say to you, but you can't bear them now. In other words, this ain't the time. And we have to be careful of the direct quoting of this, because you must remember, the Quran is in the language in which it was revealed, and we still recite it in the language that it was revealed nearly 1,500 years ago. No Bible person anywhere on the earth will be able to ever make the claim, because they don't have the original documents. They just don't have it. And Jesus didn't bring a book. Allah endowed him with the knowledge of the Torah when it come before him. Endowed him with it. He was the Word. He had it. He knew it. You understand? So he didn't come to bring nothing new. He's like, I'm putting y'all back on track. But he spoke of this Prophet Muhammad, John 16. And he, not it, he will come. And he will bring you into all truth. That's why anything you want to know about anything in existence, ever, come to a Muslim, we can get you an answer for it. Anything. Because it's all truth. All of it. So I want all of it. And that's exactly what the Prophet Muhammad brought. Now, said that he will speak in the name of Allah. He will speak only that which he has heard, and he will not be presenting his own ideas. This is John 16. And he will glorify me, says Jesus. I've said to you guys many times, we only say alayhi salam after we mention the Prophet Jesus, because that's what the Prophet Muhammad did. He will glorify me. Jesus is mentioned over 75 times in the Quran. He's mentioned more than the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He will glorify me. You see? So that's just an example of little things that are there that lead you directly to the Quran and Islam. You see? He will speak in the name of Allah. The Prophet never spoke without saying Bismillah, which means in the name of Allah, in the name of God. When the angel came to him to begin the first revelation of the Quran, he said, Bismillah Rabbika Ladika Laho. Recite or repeat in the name of your Lord. You see? So I'm happy to even if you're serious and you're interested and you're not easily just turned off, I'm happy to make myself available for one-on-one time with you on Skype, where we can be face-to-face and just chop it up, whatever you want to do. As far as you want to go with it, I'm willing to walk that mile with you, brother. Whatever you want to do, we could do that. And I'm willing to share with you anything that I possess, that Allah allows me to know in my knowledge. And, not for the purpose of you becoming Muslim and all that stuff, but just so you can be set on the path of truth and decide what you're going to do. Because you came into this earth alone, and you're going out alone, and your appointment with the grave has already been written down. What you do and where you're going after this life is going to be up to you. You must understand this. You must understand this. Because it is critical. Because nobody ever argues about the fact that we all gonna die. Nobody ever goes, well, I have a different opinion, and that's what you believe. We don't ever hear that. It's crickets. You see, everybody agrees on that. Everybody agrees. And there's so much to know, you know. Why do people still believe in the Bible? Melody asks. That's the $60,000 question. You know, I guess, you know, you have people that just haven't been exposed to anything else. They don't know there's anything else. They don't know. Somebody put them in a pew when they was little, and that's all they know. People don't know the white man's the devil. You see what I'm saying? So some of them don't know the Bible is some bullshit, you know. So there's many reasons for that, Melody, but, you know, one asks the next question, and that is, how is it someone could be exposed to a different understanding of the Bible and its teachings, its origins, and everything else, and not at least follow up on that? Like, if you're challenging what I know to be the truth, or whatever my faith is, or from whatever I'm doing, or anything about me, if you bring something that is cogent and makes sense, at the very least, I'm gonna go check that. I'm just gonna go check it. But the problem is, most people are not serious, you know. It is Khalifa, but it's I don't know if you can see, it's Deion Sanders. And y'all know I'm not a sports fan, but I absolutely have great respect for Deion Sanders. I love him to death. I love the human being. I'm not into sports, y'all know that. But I love Deion Sanders. He's impressed me as a human being. He even had a short-lived reality show on the OWN network when it first started called Deion's Family Playbook. It was fantastic. I love him, so I'm a fan of him, and I've had this forever. Like, I've had this jersey for, what's this, 2019? I've had this jersey for at least 20 years. At least. Without doing any math, it's easily 20 years I've had this jersey. Shout out to Shireen Bolton. I see you. Khalifa. I meant to say, is that a dollar? Yeah. D, I've been hit. Oh, come on. I've been hit the like button. This live is one of the best I've been in, but the Jedi has a lot of good videos I've seen. Yeah, and like I said, just go through my work, man, because there's a lot of stuff there that specifically addresses what you were talking about. And like I say, I'm happy to make myself available to you, you know, and we can get one-on-one. Just whatever you want to know, whatever you want to ask, I can help you, whatever, you know. Shout out to Original Jewess. I like that name. D, 354 versions. Wow. So Jedi, they must be hiding the real version. I like to know where it's at. It's in the Torah. And then that's been corrupted and polluted, but not like the Bible. But both of them will lead you to the Quran and Islam, because Allah has only been giving us one message since He put Adam on earth. There's not all. It's only man that has made it seem like there was all these different religions. There were different ways of life. There's one way of life, one religion, one creation, one revelation, one God. That's your Trinity. One creation, one revelation, one God. That's it. You see? And so, by the time you get to Torah, God's been saying the same thing. The same thing. The same thing. The same thing. You see? But the covenant that he made with the Israelites, and then thusly with mankind, what separated the Prophet Muhammad is because he was sent to all of mankind. Most of the other prophets have been sent just to our black ass. The biggest number were sent directly to us. Us only. And so, after Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, this is when you have the Prophet Muhammad. Now, that keeps the covenant with the Israelites, but he's for everybody. You see. And so, the real version, like I say, Jesus didn't bring a book. So he was only preaching what came before him, which is Torah. So either you're going to pick up a Torah or you're going to pick up a Quran. The Quran has been protected by Allah for mankind. He said, I will protect this. No one will touch it. You see, you can burn all the Qurans on the earth right now, because Quran is not the book. The book is actually known as Kitab. The Arabic word is Kitab. Kitab. The Kitab. The Kitab Allah. The book of Allah. The book of God. The Kitab. Like Bible is Biblios. It's just a word meaning book. That's all Bible means. It means book. You walk into the damn country where they speak that language, I just brain farted, and you say, I'd like the Bible. They'll go, which Bible? Because all you've said to them is, I want the book. I want a book. Well, Bible just means book. So they're like, what book do you want? Oh, I'd like to buy a vowel, please, for 100, So it has no meaning. So the Kitab for the Quran is the Kitab. The book, the physical thing you can hold in your hand is the Kitab. You cannot hold the Quran. Because the Quran does not become Quran until it's recited. The very word Quran means that which is recited. Quran. Quran. That's when. And so this is when you see Muslims pray. We make takbir, Allahu Akbar, and we begin to pray. You can't see my hands. We begin to pray. Like our right hand is over our left, and we're standing up, and that's the first part of the prayer. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alhamdulillah, rabbil alamin, such and we're reciting Quran. The whole prayer is reciting Quran. At the end of the prayer, when you're sitting on the ground, which I can't film, and you're sitting on the back of your heels on the ground, and you're with your knees on the ground, and you like this. Now you're making what is known as dua. That's when you go, give me a new Honda, make me a model, make me rich, let Oprah know me, and send me a check, whatever. All right, but my point is, we're reciting Quran. 1.8 billion people have all or a portion of this book in their hearts. You could burn every single kitab today. Like that, we'll have it back. Because we know it. We just finished the holy month of Ramadan, which is known as the month of the Quran, because all revelation, the Torah, the scriptures, the Quran, all of it came down during the holy month of Ramadan. Not like poof in the month. In the case of the Quran, it was over 23 years. But every time a part of it came down, revealed, it was in the month of Ramadan. So we read a 30th. So if you're a bad Muslim, or you're not just up on your faith as you could be, and maybe you don't read it every single day, certainly during Ramadan, you're reading a 30th of the Quran every day. So by the end of the holy month, you're done with the entire book. We know our book. We know it. And we know yours. You see? I have 3 Bibles here. I have my Living Word Bible. I have my King James Bible. I have my Mormon Bible. And another one. But my point is that, yes, there's 354 versions. And you're not going to get a real one because the Injil is what Jesus spoke and brought. It's known as the Injil, and that's not any book. The Quran speaks of the Injil, and it's not any book. You understand? It's oral. That's our call to prayer. You see? Character, people. Character. By the way, somebody mentioned the Islamic Republic of Iran earlier. There's many times, but there's an interview of Sheikh Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the president of the Islamic Republic of Iran. He's doing a 60 minutes interview, and he stops. And then the white interviewer goes, well, says to the translator, did I offend him in some way? What did I do? He says, no, he has to go and pray. Name me any U.S. president that said, hold on, I gotta go pray. I gotta go pray. I gotta go pray. You see? The character of the Muslim. The character. Alright, I'm gonna I need to pray. So, I'm stuck. Something stuck. Rubber band is stuck on me, y'all. I'm under attack. I'm under attack! I'm gonna do 5 minutes. I'll go into that prayer late. I'll do 10 minutes. And then I can go into that prayer late, because this is Maghrib. Yeah, this is Maghrib. The fourth prayer of the day, known as Maghrib. So anyways, D, I can get with you on that at any time, brother, and bring you up to speed on just anything you want to know and ask. And know that I don't come from a place of indoctrination or convincing. I'm only here to tell you the truth. Period. The Bible, of course, has been tampered with many times over the years. Oh, listen, they don't have the Gospel of Barnabas, the Gospel of Barnabas, because it reads too much like the Quran. They don't have the Gospel of St. Thomas, because it reads too much like the Quran. Anything, throw that out. Throw that out. You see. And as I say, the whole New Testament is out for Muslims. Once Jesus leaves the earth, we're done. If he didn't say it, do it, or speak it, we don't have anything to do with it. Nothing at all. We'll look at it. Won't even look at it. Won't even look at it. Won't even look at it. And we beloved this man. We beloved him. We beloved him. We beloved him. We're better Christians than the Christian. They're just all talk and hot air. And like I say, I wouldn't care but for my people being wrapped up in that since 1821. You must understand that a large majority of the slaves brought here from West Africa were Muslims. You understand? They weren't allowed to practice Islam. Other ones were just non-believers, or they were, and I did a whole video about what is African spirituality, because I get sick of black people saying, well, they was just doing black African spirituality, and I was over it, and I went and did a video about it. It's on the channel. But my point is, they weren't Christian. That wasn't given to you until 1821. You understand? Even in Amistad, they showed when they were giving them Bibles. I love that. I love that. By the way, they had originally, you know when you do that little swallow and smack thing, it's about to be a lie from black folks. That's why. But y'all seen the Amistad, but that's why what y'all know is they had wanted me to play the Jaimin Hansu role. I didn't want it. I had turned it down and stuff. That's what I had did. But Jaimin Hansu went and did the little part or whatever, the little movie or whatever. And we always say little about something. I love us so much. He did the little movie or whatever, Hello to Katina. I love that name. I think I told you that before in another stream. I love that. Katina Walker. I love that. Katina. I love that. I just love that. And the room is saying, what's up to Katina? And pleasantries all around. I love that. I'm glad you've seen it, Ganala. It was fantastic, wasn't it? I love Deion Sanders. I love him. And this was the crescendo for me, because the type of man I am, when he started dating Tracy, and he went to Babyface to come together as men and say, I mean, ill will, brother, but I love this woman and it's all good. And they're brothers like this now. I love this so much. Deion Sanders for president. No? Damn. I heard he called and wanted me to run his campaign, but I have to let y'all know about that later. And stuff. I love Deion Sanders. Love him. Love him. Love him. He's a good father. He's a patient brother. I learned so much from him. I love him. I love him. I love him. Me too, Kanala. I don't have OWN anymore. And, my best friend in Florida was bringing me up to speed on what's been happening on those shows. I'm completely out of the loop, completely, like, I can't get in the building. I love that, Khalifa. It ain't bragging if you can do it. I love that. He's got a lot of little snippets and little vignettes that he puts. I love him, dude. I love him. I love Deion Sanders. And his mama, that's my mama. I love him. I just love him, dude. As a human being, like, I love this brother. He has all my respect. All my respect. And my only pocket of fear or sadness or anything is just that I just wonder how many people really are exposed to this man and really have seen who he is. He's not just some athlete and some sports commentator. He's so much more than that. I love this brother. I love Deion Sanders. I love him. Shout out to KR Watkins. Good to see you, KR. I'm just peeking in, can't stay because me and hubby are chilling with the boys, letting them stay up late. Yeah, it's Saturday. Let them just show out. Did you tell the 5-year-old that I was giving him looks? Had to give him that warning look. You know what I'm saying? Just so you remember that later in life. You know what I'm saying? The Jedi gave him a look. I set him on the right path. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he think about straying, he think about that evil eye and he go, watch my tongue. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at the firmament. Appreciate the teachings. Jump. Is that why it's identified as the Holy Bible? Well, a lot of people never make that distinction though, Khalifa. I mean, it kind of is glaring, when you break down the analogy I just gave. People say, well, in the Holy Bible, but it's not holy because it's not divine. The only thing to be holy is what is from Allah by default. So if it's not from the divine, then it can't be holy. It's just like white folks is not from us, so they can't have been created by God. We're the first people. I had to get that in. Okay, good. I love that, KR, that he saw it. Or that you told him. Yeah, Kanala. I've never had any problem with that in my life. Again, it goes back to the misguided masculinity of African men, the fiction that black men have been sold about what it is to be masculine. It does not compromise my masculinity in any way to be able to praise another brother. I'm good. Absolutely. If they're worthy, then give it up. And as I said, and Deion is worthy. He's just impressive. He's so positive. Like, he's positive, but not Cory Booker positive, which will get on your nerve and make you need like a Valium and a downer. He's just a positive brother. He's confident without being arrogant. you know, he's a great father. That's what really got me. You see his children and you fall in love with the whole family. Just the time, like there's times on the show, like he has a daughter. I can't remember none of their names now. God forgive me. But his daughter, she's the only girl. She's the only girl. But the little special things he would go out of his way that's just for her. So that register on her whole young mind, oh, this is just for me. Like daddy is doing something special for me. You know, oh man. And, you know, she was some class, I think she was taking go dance or something like that. And he was like, he just would go there to support. He's Deion Sanders, but he'd just be like regular dude and go there and blend like it's nothing. And she didn't want to do it, and he had put a whole lot of energy into it. And okay, I guess my baby girl don't want to do that. We do something else, like just, you know. He also understands that the black woman is a queen. He understands this, you know. I love him, dude. I just need to meet him. So it's people that I have on a short list that I just want to meet, so I can tell them I'm proud of you. You know, he's on that list. I just want to meet him and say, Dion, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm just proud of you. I'm just proud of you. I'm just proud of you. You know, how many times do you think a celebrity ever hears that? When people are screaming their name and so and they want something and this and that. But just to go up to somebody of his stature and say, man, I'm proud of you. I'm just proud of you. I could just see him at dinner at Spago or something. And I saw him at a table. I'd just be like, I'm proud of you, man. I'm just proud of you. That would go a long way. You know, and it wouldn't be because he's Deion Sanders. It's just because he's a Deion Sanders that happens to been, that I've been able to be exposed to because he's famous. But that could have been the same dude that I just knew from the local whatever. My feeling would be the same. He just happens to be famous. And thank God, because if he wasn't famous, I probably wouldn't know him. You know? So I wouldn't be able to see this great man and how fantastic he is, you know? Way back. Oh yeah, Jedi, the police shot and killed this black man, and a gang of black people smashed the windows out of the police car. I love it. And they tore it up while the police were watching. I love it. That I will sleep better tonight. I will sleep better tonight because of that deed. No, but I will. I'll make note of it. In fact, I need to make 2 memos because I'm supposed to see the Ilhan Omar interview. Make sure to watch the Ilhan Omar interview on Van Jones. Also, see the latest news on Bernie Sanders, break. Also, see the story shared with you about D-Mike about the Memphis police incident where our people smashed car windows and tore up the police car while the devils watched. Period. Side note, I love it. No, he didn't just throw him to barge. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Go ahead, KR. Do what you got to do. For the culture. And stuff. It is humbling and good to praise each other for good attributes. Yes, indeed. You know. Thank you, Kanala. D-Mike, when did this incident happen? He says it happened, smashed the windows. I don't know. He doesn't say, but I sense it's recent. Katina, Khalifa. Dion once confounded white folks when he flew in Atlanta from an Atlanta Falcons game and then helicoptered into the Braves Stadium to play the World Series. He's dynamic. He's dynamic. And I had the privilege, I will call it, of living in Maryland. I was living in Maryland. I was working in the district when he came, when the Redskins brought him in. Oh, they would bitch about Dion all the time. And now he was coming to play. He had a suit made in the colors. I'm not even get to his fashion game. Oh, God. This brother is just, that's the dude. Like, that's the dude. And I don't blame him because, he came in, got a fat check, and he claimed, everything, because they just didn't do him right. You feel me? They just didn't do him right. But then there he was in Baltimore. You feel me? Like, he's just dynamic. He's dynamic. He's dynamic. He's dynamic. I don't know another athlete like him. I don't. And just as a layman and somebody watching cursory from the sides, because like I said, I'm not a sports fan. I don't know most of these people or the game. You have to come onto my radar for a different reason, and I don't remember when Dion made me take a closer look at him. I don't remember. Just don't remember. But that is the dude, Deion Sanders. And he still has his grounding about him. Just I love the relationship between him and his mother. Everything, dude. Like, when his reality show was on, I used to tell people you have to watch that show. It's the best reality show ever. And it was the only reason to have a black man on television in a reality show. Don't give me love and hip hop and these housewives and all the other nonsense junk. This was the anti all of that. This was a complete family, a man that was taking care of his children and his mama. You understand? And it wasn't chauffeurs and limos and maids and all of it. He was getting in that damn van and driving folks to wherever and being a father and just doing it all, But he could do all of that. You see him during the day doing all that, and then he shows up to some big ESPN event in, like, the suit, and he's doing it all. I love him. I love Deion Sanders. I love him. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything that's going to make him dare draws with me. It could happen. But I don't foresee anything at this juncture. I just don't see it. Just don't see it. So listen. Here's what we'll do, you guys. I will commit. Yeah, he did. He played. I do know that about him. That he played baseball and football at the same time. I will endeavor to do another stream tomorrow, Sunday. Yeah, because I'm not going to church with my Nigerian brother, so my day is certainly free. PlayStation for the come on, he took off the barge for PlayStation. What's your address, KR? What's the address? Look, what's the address? So I will endeavor to do another one of these tomorrow. That's what I'll do, and that gets started a little earlier. I do need to go and make Maghrib prayer because after Maghrib will be Isha, and you don't like to get two prayers in the hole. It's just not a good look because you have units of prayer that you have to make and stuff like this. Yeah. I do want to say another special shout out to Empress de Kibalan, Mikanala, for your donation. I appreciate and love you for that. You guys, there's a little button that is for the super chat. You can donate. All right. There's also the link for the GoFundMe is under the description of the video. You can do that. I mean, just what you want to do. So, a shout out to Empress for your donation, and also to D, I think was the other person. No, it was Rizzle or R Jizzle. Thank you for both of you all. I appreciate it deeply. Appreciate it. It all matters. It all matters, everybody. It all matters. It matters. When I'm sitting someday on my phone and I'm live streaming from Ghana, West Africa, and I can just do this with my phone and be like, look, y'all, look, that. I don't even want to. I usually don't let myself go there because y'all know I'm very emotional. I cry at everything. But I already know, though. I already know what's gonna come forth from me. I already know. I know. So I let that. I deny myself that until it happens. You know. I'll try to make the live chat tomorrow. Yes, Gamala. And D, yeah, you should. I would love if you make it in. But also, D, as I say again, I've said it multiple times. I'm saying it again, so you know I said it. I mean it. And know this: I never say anything out of my mouth I don't mean. I don't waste my time on the earth like that. I hate when people do that. Like, don't tell me stuff you don't mean. Don't. I hate that. Like, I always tell people, don't tell me. So I just mentioned that to say that I mean what I say. And so when I say to you that I'm absolutely willing to get with you, if you're interested in getting together on Skype anytime, you know, and just one-on-one, anything you want to ask or learn, or I can explain and help you do just whatever, I'm down for it. Last thing I'll say, I met some young people. Well, they're not that young. I'm only 25, so I don't understand. It was, I think it needs some more punch or something. Anyways, they had on these head wraps. Beautiful couple. Their little son was so cute you couldn't even look at him directly. He was that cute. The cutest child since me. All right, settle down. But they are Moors. I stood out there and had a conversation with them. I followed up with the brother a few days ago. Oh, what's up? You know, I guess he just thought I was just hot air. That's fine. But I was like, you know, no pressure. You know, if you guys want to get together in dialogue, I would like to do that. No. So he was really like, oh, okay, well, this brother's serious. So inshallah, we'll make that happen. And when we do, I intend to film it. Oh, man. Empress, gracias por todo. You see, man, you do and have done enough. I thank you. Khalifa, good night to you, brother. But Jedi, don't they take money away from you in the super chat, like 70%? No. If that was the case, I'd be like, for the love of God, don't give your money. But, if you're not comfortable, like I say, you can always go to the GoFundMe directly. The link is in the description box under the video. You can just go to that directly. And then you won't have to worry about nothing. Yeah, I heard about that in Memphis. I'm so tired of hearing about these incidents. And we will be, KR, until we strike back. Period. You fight fire with fire. You fight fire with love and chanting and marching. What, KR? I just turned, my birthday was in February. I just turned 25. So I don't know why that's funny. I don't know why. Okay, you got me. I'm only 18. Damn it, fine. What do you want? Albangel, we're saying good night, but good to see you. What are your thoughts about former prosecutor Linda and Elizabeth and the Central Park 5 being forced to resign from boards? I didn't know that. We will begin with that tomorrow, inshallah. Uh, oh. Begin tomorrow's stream by discussing the Linda Feinstein bitch and the other whore from the Central Park 5 case resigning from boards. Yeah, we're in a state of crisis at any moment you see us. Like, we should be on every pill and every therapist. We should have, every black person should have a therapist walking next to them wherever we go in life from the time we wake up in the morning. Because the assault upon us is nothing but, I mean, we're under trauma. We're under trauma. You know, you got to live amongst the people that hate you the most, and then on top of that, you're supposed to say nice, fuzzy things about their ass. Not in my lifetime. Not for me. So, I don't have TV One. I don't. But if it's on, you know, if it's on TV One, it's probably going to be on line someplace, right? Bobby was a lot of issues, you know, and then Chico made a major transformation because we'll talk about that in the live stream. Because Chico was like, "How you doing?" And the next minute he wasn't. So I don't know. I want to say this, that I love you guys all. I remind you that these live streams are about you and you only. It's an opportunity for me to make myself available for people that support and follow me and my work. That's what this is all about. You have to give back to your audience. You have to. You know, you guys are the ones that watch my work. You're the ones that have supported me and cared about me and held me down over the years and all these things. This is about you, but it's about being in real time so that I'm not just preaching to you and then it's a recording. It's an opportunity for you to ask me questions in real time, whatever you want to talk about, and I try to address that. It's an opportunity for me to shout you guys out and to be family, you know, just to be together as a people. You know, that's what these are about for me. You know, that's my intention behind my streams. You know, I can't speak for anybody else, but I always tell you I'm not like anybody else on the earth. I wish I could meet me. You know, I'm still searching, but you know, my intentions are always pure, and this is no different. So when I do these, it's for the reasons that I stated, to make myself available to my people. You know, to ask me anything, to bring up topics, to whatever we're going to do. You know, I just kind of let that just flow and just make myself available to be here for the people. And that's the only agenda I have, you know. So I love this one. And we will do this again tomorrow, inshallah. And I can get started a little earlier than I did today. Because, like I say, tomorrow, my calendar is clear tomorrow. I didn't make any commitments for tomorrow. Yeah, the only thing I was supposed to do tomorrow is to go to church with my Nigerian brother, Amos. And I don't need to do that now because he says he's not going to be able to go because he's working, because he works 2 jobs. And his other job, he's working. So, but anyway, so I'm free. You know, so I can get my live stream out of the way kind of early, and then that way I can have time with my sister, my nephew's mom, because I usually try and just lay off her during the week because she's, you know, she's a single mom, she's got 3 kids, and I want my time, you know, and so, but I just try and lay low. So we didn't speak on Friday, and I just decided if she doesn't call me today, I'll just wait till tomorrow. So then, but definitely tomorrow we'll speak because it's the last day of the weekend to speak, you know. So I can get that done probably after my live stream, because once we get on, we're on. You know, she and I we kill phones. We kill them. and then I can have my time with my sister. So that's really the only thing I have scheduled for tomorrow is just to time with my sister. But I can get my live stream in before that because these usually go about a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours, depending. I don't know how long this one has been, but yeah, we'll pick it up tomorrow. On top of the investigators of Central Park, who had a hand in the 5-man serving time, died of cancer. One of a week later after the Netflix release. Allahu Akbar, and may he go directly into the hellfire. Directly. If his intentions were intentional evil, may he go directly into the hellfire. Directly. So, I do, as I say, I love you all. And I look forward to seeing many of you here back again tomorrow on this same bat time and the same bat channel, same bat everything. I'm over it. So with that, I leave you until tomorrow. I'll see you soon.